Welcome to Mississauga, Ontario, ancestral territory of the Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, Wendat, and Ojibwe people, including the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. In this suburb of Toronto are the notable graves of figures in music, war, the Cold War, Canadian politics, and sports. Let's go! I'm here at St. Peter's Anglican Church, or St. Pete's on the Hill, due to its prominent location here for nearly 200 years. Behind the church is the cemetery we will be visiting. The very first grave we'll be visiting on this channel is that of 7-time Grammy winner and jazz music legend Oscar Peterson, here with his piano-shaped headstone, and in front of it, the piano bench left by his daughter.
Originally from Montreal, Quebec, Peterson, along with his siblings, were given musical training after Peterson's father saw it as the only opportunity for a black person to succeed at the time. Initially playing trumpet, Peterson picked up piano and was a prodigy, winning competitions and turning heads when he debuted at Carnegie Hall in 1941 when he was just 16. Most of Peterson's famous work was with the Oscar Peterson Trio, with Herb Ellis and Ray Brown. They released numerous live albums and appeared on many more. Some of his iconic work was the Canadiana Suite and Hymn to Freedom, a salute to those in the civil rights movement. Peterson was bestowed countless honors like the Order of Canada for his contributions, passion, and skill.
A legend of jazz music, right here in Mississauga. Now just a little ways away from Oscar Peterson over there is the founder of this church and cemetery, Peter Adamson, who named it after his own patron saint, St. Peter, Peter Adamson. But the most notable thing about his stone here is the list of battles he was involved in. Now these battles were all fought in the Peninsular War, the Napoleonic War campaign that was fought in Spain and Portugal from 1808 to 1814. Peter Adamson actually served in the Portuguese army, which was still under the command of the famous Duke of Wellington. Before his service, the Portuguese government granted him Knight of Tower and Sword, as we can see here. And from the British government, he was granted land in Arundel, Upper Canada, which he used to found St. Peter's Anglican Church, right here where we are. Soldier, knight, and founder, right here in Mississauga. I'm now at Spring Creek Cemetery, and in this quiet residential neighborhood cemetery is the man that spilled the beans to the world. The Soviet Union was stealing nuclear secrets and planting sleeper agents in Western countries, essentially kicking off the Cold War. And I'm about to do what the KGB and the Soviet Union could never, which is find Igor Gouzenko. So right by the road and the office here is Igor Gouzenko, the cipher clerk who worked at the Soviet embassy in Ottawa and defected along with his wife, who was pregnant at the time, and his baby son Andre, which is actually inscribed here on his stone.
When Gouzenko defected, Canadian authorities did not believe him at first and was sent home. Instead, he and his family hid in their neighbor's apartment and in the night could hear Soviet agents searching their flat. The RCMP would eventually come around, and Gouzenko would reveal everything.
There is so much more to the Gouzenko affair that I haven't even mentioned, like an assassin that defected, the Prime Minister, the Soviets finding out. But the most notable thing about Gouzenko, besides his defection, is that he would make regular television appearances wearing a white hood, whether to discuss Soviet or Cold War affairs, espionage, or to promote his books. Even 25 years after his defection, Gouzenko still feared retribution by the Soviets. Of course, they never found him, and he would live the rest of his days in peace and in freedom here in Canada. The man that kicked off the Cold War, right here in Mississauga. just a quick stop over to St. John's Dixie Cemetery, and we are visiting the 15th Premier of Ontario, Thomas Laird Kennedy. And here we are, Thomas Laird Kennedy, or T.L. Kennedy, buried here at his family plot. Although only Premier for 6 months, Kennedy, a World War I veteran, was a long-time member of provincial parliament for this area, serving for nearly 40 years between 1919 until his passing in 1959. His legacy is still visible in the community, with a school and street named after him. Local boy Premier, right here in Mississauga. I'm now at Assumption Catholic Cemetery, just a few kilometers away from Toronto Pearson Airport, and the final location for today's video. Well, the final grave we're going to visit today is one that we should never forget, and it's one of Canada's fallen, Trooper Marc Diab. Well, thank you so much for joining me in our adventure of Mississauga, Ontario. Please be sure to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you again soon. Take care now.